I'm going to be getting started on my 11 by 14 inch stretch canvas. Use the size that you want to use, and if you'd like the Traceable to draw out this image, as it does have a vantage point, kind of a perspective here, go ahead and check out the description box if you'd like to trace this out. And there's also a short video down there as well on how to transfer images from your drawing to your canvas using wax transfer paper, as I've done here. So check that out, and also colors and materials, as well as all the brushes and all that. So to get started, I'm going to be on my palette with some phthalo blue, raw umber. This is violet, burnt umber, permanent red, light magenta, cad orange, yellow medium, and of course titanium white as always. So I'm going to take my number 18 nylon angle brush here to start doing some background stuff. I'm always going to work from the furthest back forward, and what I'm going to do to start off with, I'm going to take a little bit of this red. Okay, just a little bit, and let's get some raw umber into that. So I want to dull this back, and now I want to get some orange into that. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking for sort of this vibrant fiery color. Now I want to darken that a little bit further with some raw umber. Okay, that's a little bit darker brown there, you see, and I'm thinking I'm going to do something like this. So it's kind of like this Indian red color. Okay, just kind of something like that, and I'm going to start up here. And I'm basically just going to block this in with that color for the most part. Okay, just going to get some general base color where it goes. And of course, as you know, this is going to be all bokeh out back here. And then I'll have some detail in here and then more bokeh in the foreground. So this is going to be a really neat contrasting sort of a piece here with in and out of focus elements to really pop off of each other. Okay, I'm going to go around these trees here. Okay, just laying some color in. This is going to be some fall leaves right here that I'll get to. I just want to get some base color though, just to get something to work with for now. So I'll just go ahead and just kind of block this generally in like so. I'm going to go really bright with really vibrant lights kind of zinging through there. So I don't want to cover that up. Okay, just kind of leaving some places where it's going to be super bright. And I just want to use this and just kind of dab in some kind of tree indications like this. See this? Doesn't have to be anything special or neat or anything, but just with the corner of the brush, I'm just kind of sort of tap and just kind of give the indication of tree brush back here. I know that looks really awful, but again, I'm just getting color where it goes for now, just getting some things kind of laid in here, okay? Now I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush. I'm going to take some yellow medium, and let's see, just a little bit. Okay, and I want to dull that with just a little bit of burnt umber to that. Okay, maybe a little bit more burnt umber. Okay, something like that, and just a teeny bit of orange. If I do too much orange, it'll take over the whole thing, and I want to be very careful of that. Okay, maybe just a little bit more. I'll just get this right here. Okay, something like that. You can see how quickly that orange took over. Just that little bit there just really made all the difference. I'm telling you, you want to really be careful. Okay, so I got this nice color here, and what I want to do with that color is grab some white to that. Okay, I really want to brighten this up, and I'm looking for a really bright, kind of a vibrant, sort of orangey yellow kind of value here to work with here for some sunlight kind of peeking through all those trees and all that fall brush. Okay, so, and of course I can adjust this color. Okay, I'm gonna work in some of this value here. Let's go, just gonna load a little bit of this up onto this number 2 nylon flat brush here. And I wanna just start doing these little peekers here of some light playing through. Okay, I'm just gonna start saying like this. And of course, anything that's out of whack, I can just take this base color here and cover it up. Okay, doesn't have to be anything. I don't have to stick with anything. Okay, now what I'd like to do is take some of this orange, take some of this red, take some of this burnt umber here. Okay, and maybe I'll take some raw umber. I really want to darken this down. Okay, kind of like that, a very dark reddish brown. Okay, for a different kind of value. And let's see, I want to work some of these values in here. Okay, just kind of like that. Again, Bokeh. I'm just going to blend this out and just kind of apply this right in here. Okay, a little bit more red, a little bit more orange, and I want a little bit of yellow. I want to make this a little bit more vibrant now. Okay, kind of something like that. You can see how beat up these brushes are, but that's what I want to use for this. Okay, something that's just really out of whack. Everything has a purpose in life. I found the purpose for beat up brushes in a lot of ways. Okay, it really does good with these effects that I found. Okay, so you can see a little bit different value. It's different than this. Okay, different shadow changes. Shadow play has differences, just like light does, and got to get those in there for that realism. Okay, notice how I'm doing these circles here. I'm just kind of leaving some of this lighter stuff open and just kind of surrounding some dark circles here and there to show some leaves, you know, like the indications. Okay. There we go. See that? Now it's just kind of getting in there and kind of doing its thing. Okay, let's put some of this shadow in around some of this light here, zinging through. That's really going to contrast and pop that out of there as well. All right. Okay, so see, just some leaves kind of happening there already. And it doesn't have to be anything special. Just throw it in there. Change it if it's not right. You can cover things up, knock back things with other values. It's all good. All right, and let's see. I'll put some of that shadow in here. Now, I'm going to go a little bit more of this raw umber, okay, without cleaning, just to get it darker. And in some spots, I want to just kind of do, I'm just kind of working this in, just kind of dancing it around, leaving these little circular things, okay, just kind of randomly. Okay, I'm going to go ahead now with some orange, a little bit of red, and maybe a little bit of yellow, so all three of these warm colors. Let's just get a little bit of white to brighten that just a bit. Okay, I want to make these pop. Nice fiery cracker, or firecracker color here. Okay, super vibrant. And let's see how that plays in here. I want to go with some of that. Now, one thing I can do, and I want to show you this, is I can take a little bit of this light magenta, and when I put it with some of this orange, watch what happens. It really just makes it more vibrant. See that? This right here versus this. You got more red in here, so it's more, you know, dulled down. Believe it or not, red is a duller. And when you pick up the orange and the light magenta together, you really get this nice kind of neon firecracker color. It just ramps it up just a little bit more. And I want to go with this, actually. And let's go kind of like that. Yeah, see that? See, and I'll go around some of this dark stuff and add in some of this. Okay, some of the light kind of really zinging and just lighting up the leaves here in the background is really going to set this off. Okay, super well. Look at that. You can get these nice bokeh light things. Okay. Now, as you know, because acrylics is very transparent, and when you got yellow, it's your most transparent color, even though this has white in it to make it more opaque, it's still in its first stages, which means we're not popping things just yet. But stay tuned because it is coming. All right, look at that. Now I got some place to pop that off of there now with that other first coat there that I can play this on top of. And I can start getting that to show up really well. Okay. Okay, lots of light going to be coming through here. What I'd like to do now is, without cleaning, I'm going to take just a little bit of orange. Let's take some of this to it. Okay, kind of something like that. And what I want to do is see where these values meet. I want to go right where they meet and put this orange value right on it. Okay, right where they meet together like this, and see like this. Watch what happens. It gives that shine and glow. See that? I don't know, it just takes it off and they really start to come to life here, all these things. Okay, so something like that. Something like that. We're getting this little pop and glow and shine and all these things to happen. All right, something like that. And I kind of want to get some of this orange. Let's get a little bit more of that color. Okay, I want to change the value a little bit. I want to show some of these orange kind of poppers here. And I'll tell you what, I like these, but I want to add some more brighter kind of orange bouncers. I don't know, that's what I'm going to call them. Orange bouncers. How's that for some light play in here? Okay, so some of that yellow and orange. I didn't clean my brush. Okay, and I want to kind of ramp these up a little bit, just some of them. I want to play these in. Okay, with these other ones. Just really bring it in. And look at that. It just, you got more values playing together. This really just takes off that much more. All right, I'm going to, I think now, go back to that darker value. I'm going to get some more raw umber. Okay, maybe a little bit of orange into that. Okay, I don't know. Let's see, maybe a little bit more. Okay, something like that. All right, and once again, I want to go in here and just kind of show these little indications, like I said, just kind of like these tree kind of leaf things happening here. Okay, as it comes down into the tree, light's getting lost along the way. It's kind of bouncing here and then just kind of gets into the shadow down here. Okay. Okay, something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush off again. Let's see, I'm gonna go a little bit lighter now. I want to get some more white into this yellowish value here. Okay, and let's go back in. Okay, building the layers up. It gets more opaque. The colors get more vibrant. Everything pops that much more. All good. Okay, so just building these up. And see, it's a little bit more orange than I want there. That's okay. I can knock that back. See that? Just kind of play that over and it settles that right down. All good. You don't ever have to put up with anything or keep something like it is. And that's going to happen along the way. You're going to get colors that aren't right at first. That's the way it's supposed to be. You're just putting it up there and then you're adjusting it and then just playing with something that's already there, and it just does it. Each layer gets better, the effects get stronger, everything comes together, the weirdness goes away. Yeah, it's all good. I'm telling you, it's awesome. It just comes together. Okay, so it's going to be like the trees are kind of getting swallowed up in the light here and really illuminating out of here. All right, let's see. I'm going to wipe most of that color off my brush. I just want to get titanium white. Okay, just like that. And right here, really, really, really bright. And I don't want to take over all that color. I just want to really come in and just get this center right here. See that? Okay, it really gives a nice shine and a glow and all that. Okay. Okay, a little bit more white. All right, now without cleaning, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of this violet. Okay, just a teeny bit. I want mostly white. I'm looking for a very faint violet color, so I'm going to take a little raw umber now to dull that just a bit. So it's not super vibrant, but it's going to be like, I don't know, let's see. Something like this, I'm thinking maybe, okay? And of course, I can always adjust it if it's not right. And let's see, I'm not going to go to the very bottom, but something I'm thinking like right here. Okay, just going to show kind of in the distance. Maybe this is a little foothill in the very distance. Okay, in the back there. Okay, and I'm going to go a little bit with this color in here, although that's not going to stay that color. It's just a base color to play on top of to make the effect with other values on top to change it into its final look and value that it should. Okay, something like that. I'll go ahead and clean this brush. Take this once again. Let me see, I'm going to get a little bit of this orange into it, but not much. Just a little bit. Okay. I don't know, something like that. And I want to go in here and kind of be specific and let some of this play, this tree branch kind of thing kind of go in between them and get them kind of specific in here. See that? Okay, cleaning that brush off again. And one more time, I want to pop these other orange ones here. So I want to get, again, some of that orange and light magenta together. Maybe a little bit of yellow, just to ramp that up a bit. Boom, look at that. And now, just a little white. Not much. Okay, something like that. And I want to, once again, kind of, bam, pop these. See that? And one thing I'd like to do, I'd like to take this right here and just barely any paint on the brush. Okay, what I'll do is take this violet, or on top of this violet, I want to glaze. Glaze like this. See this? That way, it kind of looks like this foothill in the back, or whatever this is. We'll call it a foothill. Getting swallowed up by the light here. Okay, so you can just kind of barely make it out and see it, but you can see it, and it makes the painting interesting in that way, I think. Okay, it makes it more pop and the vibrance that comes in from it. Okay, we'll do that over here as well. Okay, a little bit more of that color. Okay, there we go. See that? And it's just kind of subtly in there. It just kind of sets that off. What I'm gonna do now is I want to take some more of this red, and now this time some raw umber into that red instead of the burnt umber. That's a little bit darker of a maroon. Okay, something like that. And I just want to go kind of in here with that. Just kind of base coat this in. Okay, this is still my beat up number 2 nylon flat brush. Use the brush again that you're comfortable with. But with Bokeh, I'm leaving jagged edges. I'm not looking at how neat. Just in the general location. Okay, and now, without cleaning, I want to take a little bit more of that raw umber. Okay, let's darken this down just a little bit. See that kind of fading off there? I'm going to go back to my number 18 angle brush. I'm going to start blocking in our trees here. And for this, what I want to do is I want to take some raw umber and phthalo blue together. Essentially, that makes black or a dark Payne's gray and a more natural looking black than just say permanent black. If I were to use that, it might look more cartoony instead of realistic. So I like my own made blacks when it comes to this. Okay, just a dark value like that. Okay, very natural looking. And I'm going to take my angle brush, and I know these are bokeh, but I'm just going to fill these in. I'm not worried about effects. And if I push hard or hard enough, it makes the branch thick, and then less pressure, and I can actually make it smaller. So I'm just going to say something like this. I'm going to go all the way up like that and have that kind of go up there. Okay, so something like that. And with this angle brush, I can really control the brush super well and get into really small areas, and I can really block in things very precise and specific. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to block this in as well, but I'm going to leave some space around the trees so I know where they're at. So it's just a dark kind of base color for now, so right here. Okay, leaving a line there so I know where the tree is versus where the ground is. Okay, so now I have another number 2 nylon flat brush. It's just a little bit more intact, but the bristles are still kind of frayed out. I felt like the other one was just kind of too jacked up, so I didn't really want to go with it anymore. But it's whatever. You know, whatever brush you want to use is fine. So I'm going to go back now. I'm going to get some raw umber. I'm going to get some of this red. Okay, for that dark maroon value again. Okay, and right up here, just going to kind of do something like this. I don't know, it's some more tree branch stuff. Let's see, kind of do this number. Okay, for another little bokeh light kind of thing there. And let's see, I can do it over here as well with that. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of do this number here and just kind of scratch this down a little bit right here. Okay, something like that. See, just a little bit more tree indication stuff. Okay, and now I'm gonna clean that brush off. And let's see, what I want to do now is I want to take some orange, and I want to dull that just a little bit with some burnt umber this time instead of the raw umber. And let's get some more yellow in there just to make it a little bit more warmed up and vibrant and that kind of stuff. Okay, now a little bit more orange. And now I want to get some white. Okay, maybe a little bit more yellow. Okay, maybe something like that. So just a little bit of paint on the brush. And I want to go around just some of this right here. See this? It puts that orange glow in there, that little bit of a shine. Yeah, that kind of ramps up the light play in here and really brings that vibrant zing and nice sunlight play through here super well this way. Okay, see that? And I want to place some of that in here. Just kind of like where these values meet, you know, like where this light one meets this darker one that's fuzzed out, and where these two meet, where the tree is. I just kind of want to put that orange value right there, right on top of where they meet, and just kind of fade them in both directions into each value, and it just really surrounds it and gives it that glow. That's what really brings out that glow and that shine. Okay, so I think I want to take some more of this. And once again, so I want to do it around these as well. Watch this. Okay, just a little bit like that. See that? And it just gives that zing. And also it makes the bokeh effect stronger too as I put this orange around this, as you can see. Okay, just like this. I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush. And what I'd like to do now is start building a glow on this. And for that, what I'd like to do is take some red, maybe a little bit of magenta. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of white. Okay, let's see. Maybe something kind of like this. And of course, I can change it if it's not, you know, exactly what I want. And right here, boom, I want to strike this little deal in. Okay, just like that. Let's go a little bit of orange and magenta and some red. Okay, to get that nice fiery color in there. Let's see, a little bit more red. All right, something like that. Let's see what this is gonna do. So I want to go on here. Okay, and I just want to pet it out just a little bit into that other value that I already laid down. Just kind of let it fade off. Okay, like that. See, and it looks like it's getting a little bit of action here off the sun on the tree here. Okay, something kind of like that. And also right in here. And now I want to fade this off like this. I really want to show this light transition and light play happening here. Just really lighten this tree up. Okay, just kind of something like that. See that? And let's see, I want to take some of this value, just a teeny bit of it. I'm just scratching the canvas just a little bit to glaze in some of this right here. Okay, see that just kind of zinging out of there now? It just really looks like something happening. All right. Okay, boom. Just kind of getting that light play happening, that light glow. Light show, light glow. I'm going to take some phthalo blue. I'm going to get just a teeny bit of raw umber. And now some titanium white. And now just a little bit of violet to that. Okay. I'm looking for like this royal kind of blue color here. Okay, not too much white. I'm going to leave it a lot of it right there, but just going to go back up here with that. Okay, something like this. Maybe a little bit more raw umber. I want to dull that just a bit more. Okay, I'm thinking like that. Okay, and I can always change this if this is not the right value or whatever. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to just dance in some bark. But I'm going to brush it though, because again, I want that faded, kind of sort of out of focus look, because I'm going to dab this one with crisp lines and not so much this one. This is what's going to tell me that this is out of focus here a little bit more than this one, or against this one. Okay, so something like that, and okay. And look at this tree right here is obviously in front of this one that goes behind it. So watch, I can just kind of do that, and now I can see this one in front of that one by doing the bark details. Okay, just like so. And what I'm going to do now is I'll take a little titanium white. No cleaning. Actually, I could have got it there. Oh well. Let me just do that anyway. Okay, a little bit of paint on the brush and little striking highlights. Okay, just a few. without cleaning, I'm just going to wipe all that paint off the brush. I'm going to take some raw umber and phthalo blue together for my dark value. Okay, that I block these guys in with. Let's see. That's good there. And just like this, I'm going to dance this over this and knock some of this back. Okay, however, I don't have to knock all of it back, so I can settle it down and have it kind of fade off. Okay, how about that? Anything you want to do. All right, and I'm going to go back to that red, that firecracker color here. And I'm going to get just a little burnt umber into that, just to dull it just a bit, but I still want its vibrance. Okay, because what I want to do is right in here, I want to dance some of this. Well, let's see. I actually want to get maybe just a little teeny bit of white. Okay, just to see it. And see this, I'm going to dance a little bark here. So it looks like the light's really hitting the bark, and I'll even come over here and hit some of it. See this? Just it kind of bounces, maybe kind of wraps around a little bit. All right, just something kind of like that. I'm going to clean that brush. Let's see, I'm going to go that same violet and blue, a little brown. Let's see, more blue. A little titanium white, not much. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, something like that. And I'm going to go onto our tree here that's in focus. And actually, you know what, real quick, before I do that, I'm going to take my other 18 angle brush here, and I'm going to do a crisp line. I'm going to get a little water on the brush. I'm going to hang on to this brush here for a second. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going to take some of this brown and blue here. Okay, my dark value here. Okay, I'm going to use the very tip of this, and I want a crisp line right here. And back to my number 2 nylon flat brush here. I'm going to go ahead and start dancing this value of blue that I just made up. So I'm tapping, I'm not going to brush it out. Okay, again for that in focus. Okay, just kind of like that. However, just kind of mix it up, have some fun, see what looks good, knock something back, all good. Okay, something like that. I'm just gonna okay, maybe something like that, yeah. And now I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush so that I get that light value out of there. And what I'd like to do now is go back to this burnt umber, I'm sorry, not burnt umber, raw umber and phthalo blue. Okay, for my dark value again. And I just want to go in here and just kind of break this up. Okay, just a little bit, just here and there, not everywhere. See that? I can really enhance the texture and really build this up. See, I can take the corner of the brush and maybe like on this one, I can go, you know, just little things here. See that? Just kind of knock back just some of it in different ways. Okay, so again, not brushing, just tapping. I'm going to take some white now into that for some highlight. Okay, and again, just here and there, not everywhere. And now I want to go back into this firecracker color of the red, the light magenta, some yellow. Okay, something like that. Awesome brightness there. Okay, so right here, boom, I want to hit this really good. And of course it's on this dark background or dark value, so probably not going to show up right away like it should all at once, but I want to get this launch pad here so that it can really zing off of there. Okay, super well. And I want to get some of this color on some of this bark here, just to kind of show through. Okay, so very light pressure with the brush, and I'm just glazing so you can see the bark details. Okay, now I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to mix those colors again. I'm going to get some orange into it this time. Okay, a little yellow, a little bit more red. Okay, let's try this. Let's go. Boom, see that? Another layer. And we just get better each time. All right, now without cleaning, I'm just going to take a little titanium white to that. And right here, I just want to, well, let's see, just a little bit more white, okay, into this. Okay, there we go. I want to go back to these and just show the light hitting really strong right in the front of it like this, and then just kind of fade it off a little bit. Okay, see, like that. And also right here. All right, boom. You love it. All right, let's get some more of this. Okay, I'm gonna go another coat here. Okay, just kind of tapping it in. Sometimes if I brush it, it won't lay down very well. Okay, just like that. And if you can't cover it up, if it's not, you know, receiving the paint and there's just like this hole that's not being filled or whatever, just let it dry. And when it does, come back. Okay, I'm gonna take some titanium white again. I'm gonna go back into this and let's go like this, okay, where it's really, really bright. And just patting this out. Just kind of letting this kind of hang right there. Okay, see that? Now it looks really bright coming through here. I love that. All right, looking really, really bright. Okay, I have back again my number 18 nylon angle brush. I'm gonna block in our building here. Okay, with those angle brushes, I can get around all these things and keep everything where I want it to be. Okay, so I'm gonna take some raw umber again and some phthalo blue. Okay, and this general color here. Just gonna start blocking in basically where everything goes for this building here. Okay, just like so. Okay, something like that. I'm just gonna block that in. Let's see. Oh. Okay, and for this down here, I'm just gonna leave a line, okay, to separate this part from the building here. Okay, something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush. Okay, back to my number 2 nylon flat brush. Okay, and I'm gonna go with some magenta, light magenta, and some red again, and some yellow. Okay, for that really vibrant firecracker color. And once again, I'm gonna go on here and really set this on fire. Boom, look at that. Okay, just gonna glaze this down. Just kind of really fade this off. Okay, see, like that. And I got this nice little haze here going. Okay, and you can see some of the bark through that, which is really cool. Okay, loving that. And again. All right. Now it really looks like that's popping out of there super well. Okay, and I want to do now to ramp it up even just a bit further is take some titanium white. Get a little bit of that color left in there. Go a little bit lighter, and I don't want to take over all that vibrant color, but I want to kind of put it right on the edge right here. And just kind of blend that off just a teeny bit right where it's at. Okay, boom, like that. See how that just zings that so well, man. Awesome, awesome, okay. And also right here. Just really making this come alive now. Boom, there's that. There's that, okay. Check that out. That is just happening now. Okay, just like that. And actually, you know what I wanted to do? I want to actually go that same firecracker color. Let's see, let's get that going again. And you can put this wherever, however, but we have to put it on this side also because this is also being affected by the sun. Okay, just kind of a little bit right here. Okay, just gonna pet that off. And fade that off. Okay, just like that. Now it really looks like it's really happening there. And I also wanted to take this up here just a little bit further. Okay, with this. Okay, just kind of maybe heavier right here. Okay, and just petting this off again for that glow and that transition of light there. It just kind of goes up through the whole tree. It shows that sunlight's really up here as well, zinging through here, hitting the bark all the way down. Okay, also down here a little bit. Okay, kind of like that. Okay, just gonna pet this out again. Okay, something like that, maybe, yeah. And then maybe a little bit right and down in here, a little bit too. Okay, something like that, yeah. Okay, just that light hitting right there. See that? I kind of wanted to take that up a little bit more. Okay, I've added to my palette now some permanent black. I'm going to go ahead and take just a teeny bit of that because black actually makes a different type of blue than when you mix it with raw umber, and I want to get this baby blue kind of color in here. So I'm just going to take a little black to that blue. Okay, and now wiping all that paint off the brush, I'm going to take this right here and just a little bit of that blue right here. So I'm thinking something like this. Okay, just this nice blue. Okay, what I'm going to start doing now with my number 2 nylon flat brush, I'm going to take this value and I'm going to start working that right in here. I'm just going to start kind of blocking on top of this, and then I'll start knocking stuff back and defining things and getting that bokeh. Kind of like this. Okay. Just kind of streaking down right here. And let's see. Actually, what I want to do now is grab a little bit more white, and I want to grab a little bit more blue just to make it more saturated. And we'll get some of this too, and more white actually. Okay, more white. Okay, something a little lighter. And let's just kind of, I'm just barely using any pressure with the brush. Okay, and I'm getting this little bokeh thing happening here. Okay, and this like circular motion here. Okay, just kind of letting that fade off like that. See that? And I'm also going to get it up here where light's kind of hitting the building. Okay, something like that. And also I'm going to work some of this more vibrant value in here like this. Okay, just kind of doing these little things here. All right, and let's see, a little bit in here. Okay, wiping most of that paint off the brush. And what I'd like to do now is get a little yellow medium. And I want to take some of this raw umber. Let's see, let's go raw umber into that yellow, a little bit of blue into that. And now some titanium white to bring that up a little bit. Okay, a little bit more raw umber. And I'm kind of looking for this value right here. Just this like sort of muted mint green, I'll call it. Okay, and right here, a little bit of a value change, more in the shadow right here. Okay, just using the very edge of the brush here and just kind of letting it pet the canvas. I'm not really trying to put pressure on the brush really because I don't want to lose that bokeh effect with the rough edges and the blend look. Okay, so something like that, little building, little things happening here. And with that same value, I'm going to go right in here. And very little pressure with the brush. I want to go out into the sunlight just a little bit. I'm going to wipe most of that paint off the brush. Okay, just kind of something like this. Okay, without cleaning, I'm just going to take a little titanium white onto that value. Okay, just a little bit. And I just want to go in here and just kind of strike a bit of a highlight here. See that? All right, I'm going to take some of this raw umber, maybe just a little bit of that blue into there. Okay, very little paint on the brush. And I want to go right here. And as you know, again, I want to do those fuzzy lines. Okay, same thing right here. Just want to pet this out and just make these fuzzy broken lines like that. See that? All right, that's what I'm talking about right there. Okay, that out of focus. Super nice like that. See that? Okay, maybe a little bit of that in here. Okay, and also while I have the brush, I'm also going to make it look like these little light posts right here. Okay, that are in the distance here. You see that? And it just kind of does that. I'm also going to settle down some of this blue here and there. Oh, now just titanium white. Okay, and just want to glaze in just these little sunspots here on the building. Okay, something like that. Very little pressure again with the brush. Just dusting it out. Okay, making that kind of happen there. And it also ramps up the bokeh effect too this way. Okay, see something like that. And let's see, I'm gonna go in here and highlight just between some of this stuff like this. Okay, and taking some of that white up in here as well. Okay, a little bit more white. I want to get now a little bit of this light magenta and some yellow. Okay. Get a little white now to that. Let's see, a little bit more. And let's see, let's go with like some of this kind of orangey kind of color. And I'm gonna place that right in here. Okay, just this really bright little thing here. I don't know, some light zinging off of the building here. Or maybe it's off of these lamps here that are lit. All right, in your world, make up the story. Let it be the reason that you want it to be. Okay, also right here, let's block that in. Okay, another little zing striker of light there, maybe. Okay. Now I'm gonna go, let's see, a little bit of this color here. While I have this brush or color on my brush, I'm gonna go ahead and fill in our lamps here that are on the sidewalk here along this building. Let's go like this. Okay. And now what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of orange and yellow. Okay, just a little bit, kind of like that. And I just want to go in here with some of this, see, like that. Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. And one thing I'd like to do is take some more of this raw umber. And actually I'm gonna take a little black, because when it comes to posts or man-made things like these light posts here, I kind of like to have more of a black because it separates that from the dark values of the natural things like the trees. And I think it adds more of a realistic look. And so, okay, mostly black, a little raw umber and some blue, it's all good. Okay, and so I'm gonna go in here and be very, very distinct about the lamppost here. Okay. Okay, something like that, see that? Okay, and I can also shape this if something's out of whack. Okay, all good. Okay, maybe something like that, and then right here, see, this is going to get really distinct and really cool looking. Okay, see, something like that. Okay, something like that. All good. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. Let's see, I'm gonna go some more orange, a little bit of this magenta. Okay, just a little bit, and right here. All right, now a little bit of white, and let's go a little phthalo blue, actually. Okay, a little bit more white, just a little bit. Okay, this like that. for a vibrant blue. Okay, wiping a lot of that paint off the brush, and I'm going to come in here and just kind of work in just some of this stuff here. See this? This kind of does something. I don't want to take over everything. I just kind of want to glaze it up in there a little bit, okay, around some things. It just kind of gives it a glow effect, I think. I like that. Okay, maybe. I don't know, a little bit right there, maybe. Okay, we'll go ahead and clean this brush. Let's see, I want to go now some more of that orange and magenta, and this time I want some red into that. Okay, just kind of something that's going to be just kind of something here, I don't know. Kind of little, I don't know, light zing or something like that. Okay, I'm gonna go again with that value. Okay, it's just got that magenta, and it doesn't really matter. You can put yellow or orange or leave the orange out, because the yellow will come in and kind of create orange with that red, of course, but just kind of something that is fiery. When you put that light magenta in, it really just ramps up the warm colors. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here again and okay, I don't know. Just again, bokeh, just some things, I don't know, some shapes. We're not sure what this is. It just kind of adds interest, just kind of does some things, I think. No cleaning again. I'm going to take some more of that magenta and that red together. Okay, and I'm going to go kind of around some of this, see that? Just here and there, not everywhere. Okay, just kind of gives it some kind of a shine or glow. Okay, now I'm going to clean that brush. I'm going to go now with some titanium white and go into that value just a little bit. Okay, just a teeny bit. And I'm going to add just kind of some of this in here. Okay, cleaning that brush. One thing I'd like to do is I'd like to take some of this raw umber and phthalo blue together. And let's see, I want to go where the building is kind of weird right here. I kind of want to take it up like this. Yeah, I felt like it kind of went in the wrong direction. But see, that's cool because I can just go like that and then bring it up. See that? There we go. That's what I was wanting right there. And while I have this value on my brush, I want to knock some of this back just a little bit and just kind of make it more bokeh out and blurred out, you know what I mean? Just like kind of fading in a way. All right, and what I'd like to do is take a little bit of phthalo blue. I'll take some titanium white. Okay, something really vibrant, and I'm just gonna do something like this where, let's see, I'm gonna add a little violet to that actually, and I'm just gonna get just a little bit more titanium white. Okay, something like that. And let's see, anything I don't like, of course, I'm just gonna cover up, so it's all good, I don't care. Just gonna freestyle this, just kind of do something like this. Okay. Just to kind of show some design on the sidewalk here next to the tree. And I want to keep these straight with the thing. I don't want to go like this or angle them because that'll make the perspective kind of weird. So always want to go straight as this comes into that vanishing point. Okay, just a little tip there. All right, and Okay, something kind of like that. And now, without cleaning, I'm just going to wipe most of that paint off the brush. I'm just going to go back into this raw umber and this phthalo blue mixture, okay, for that dark value again. Okay. Maybe a little bit of black because I do have some light on there just to darken that again. Okay, and I just want to finish filling the trees, okay, where the tree meets the decorative little ground here, this little sidewalk area. So I'd like to take some of this value again. This is like my sunlight vibrant color here. And I want to go right here. And I don't want to cover everything. I kind of want to do like this. Okay. And I want to take some of this black and some of this blue. Maybe some of this baby blue, just a little bit. Okay, something kind of like that. I want to knock this back just a little bit, and I want to go kind of like this. Okay, see, and it kind of has shadow back there to show the, whatchamacallit, this tree here, casting some shadow on it. Okay, so something kind of like that, where light's just kind of hitting off of that. And let's see, I want to pick up a little bit more raw umber on that. And let's go right here. There we go. Okay, and I'll actually place some of this in here just a little bit to kind of break this up. Okay, a little sun kind of hitting right there. Let's see, I'm going to go again with that orange, magenta, some yellow. Okay, a little red. And just a little bit of burnt umber just to dull that just a bit. Okay, now a little bit of white to bring that up. Let's see. Let's get this and this again. There we go, and go into that, and then, yeah, like that. There we go. All right. And I'm going to show some light play kind of hitting right here. See this? Like that. Okay, there's a little bit hitting there. There's a little bit hitting right here. And there's some of that in here, actually. Okay, now what I want to do is go back to this yellow here and take just a little bit of titanium white with that. Okay, let's see, more of that. Let's see, not so saturated. Or unsaturated, I mean. Okay, a little bit more of that yellow value in there. Okay, and I'm gonna leave some of this red. I don't want to cover all of it up. But I want to go kind of like this. Okay, skipping a little bit and just kind of letting it break up and do its thing. And seeing it's still got some of that red in there, as you can see there. And same thing over here. I'm going to put just some of that in here. Okay, maybe a little bit right there. See, I don't know, like, okay. Now what I want to do is I want to get a little bit more yellow into this. Okay, just a little bit to get it more of that color involved. And let's see. Let's go again. Just a little bit. Okay, see that light playing on the sidewalk there a little bit. Okay, so now just a little bit of white, just a little bit of that yellow. Okay, something like that. And while I got that white on here, I'm also gonna hit just some of this with some highlights, see, just kind of like this. Okay, maybe even a little bit sneaking in over here. Got to have sneakers a little bit sometimes, yeah. Okay, so kind of like that, I guess, yeah. And I'm gonna go, let's see, back into some more of this blue, some violet, just kind of like this. Okay, let's knock some of that back just a little bit. Okay. Okay, and what I'd like to do is make up kind of this general sort of lavender color here. So I'm going to take some of this violet and I'm going to get some of this light magenta. Okay, something like that. I'm going to dull that a little bit with some burnt umber. Okay, just a bit. And now I want to get some white into that. Okay, let's see. Actually, I'm going to go a little raw umber now to dull that back just a little bit. Okay, so it's not so vibrant just yet. I want to get this base color, as always, as you know. Okay, that's a great color, but I want more of it, so I'm going to get, again, more violet. Okay, more of this magenta, or light magenta, I should say. Okay, more of that raw umber. Just a base coat with. Okay, just something like that. And so with my number 18 angle brush, I'm going to start blocking in right here. So I'm going to take that lavender color. Okay. There's going to be a real bright area right here, and I'm going to sort of leave that open right here. So let's see, kind of right here. Something like right here. Okay, because I want to leave this open right here for some sunlight, like I said. And so I'm just going to block in generally where this value is going to be. Okay, just kind of something like that. And again, this angle brush really good for getting around things and coming to nice triangular points and all that. So I like it for that. But you, again, use the brush that you like to use, that you're comfortable with. Okay, so just kind of something like this. Okay, just kind of something like that. And let's see, with this same value, I'm just going to start blocking in our different bricks here. So again, with this angle brush, you can see I can use the tip and the edge pretty well. And I'm not trying to be too precise. I'm going to knock back whatever spills out here in between them with that dart with a really dark value. So, I'll go ahead and clean it up really well with that. Okay, so I'll just kind of cobblestone-like material, or cobblestones, I should say. Yeah, just getting these irregular shapes like that for them. Okay. And I left some of this open in the traceable, as you can see. I just wanted to kind of do my own thing, and just kind of give all of us a way to do this freehand in some ways. Okay, so just kind of however. I'm going to put some of this in here, just a little bit showing, okay, because I want to have some of this brick color kind of showing where the light's kind of bouncing through it, but not completely covering it, but most of it. And so I feel like I should do something like this. Okay, just kind of laying something in there for some sunlight to kind of swallow up and have fun with. Okay, giving that sunlight something like bowling pins to knock down a little bit. Because as you know, sunlight really just takes a painting and like swallows some things up, and it just gives that illumination and infiltration that I love so much when it just comes in and just kind of eats things up a little bit and then just like puts out this glorious shine when it does that. So I want to set this up for our nice sunlight that's going to come through. That's for sure. All right, I don't know. I have fun with painting. This is, for me, it's so much fun to sit here and create and kind of make up a scenario with it, you know? It's just kind of what I like to do. Okay, a little bit more of this base color here, just loading up. Okay, and I'm just going to proceed and pretty much block in this whole thing, all the bricks with this value. Okay, I'm also going to put some of this color in here as well to block in. So I do want a lot of that warm color in here. So I'm just going to put just a little bit of this color in here. See, just leaving a lot of opening in there. And then let's see, as I get down a little bit further, a little bit more of this. Okay, now from here I want to block in all the rest of this right here. Okay, just kind of fade that way just a little bit. Okay, all good. Okay, just like that. All right, and let's see, let's get a little bit more of that color so it's not so thinned out. There we go. See that? Okay, a little bit too much water just to keep it flowing, but a little too much and it can render me really transparent and actually give me a lighter value. So when I want to block in, I always want colors to be fairly strong, because I feel like it's like the diving board. The stronger the color is on the underneath everything, the more it's going to pop all the effects off of it. And so it's like making the diving board a lot more springy, and it's going to launch it that much further. So wanted to get that on there good. Okay, I'm cleaning this brush now. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I put a little bit more phthalo blue here because I want to take this and mix up that dark Payne's gray. Okay, essentially it's like a black. And I'm going to take that blue and that raw umber together. Like that, a nice big pile of this dark stuff here. Okay, and with my same number 18 Nylon angle brush, I'm going to go in here and start working some things in here. Okay, so let's see, I'm just going to get just a little bit on the tip here. And I want to start working in here and just kind of showing these little indications in between these bricks here. As it gets further away, of course, it's going to get a lot smaller. And also that bokeh effect too. So I'm just kind of doing this. Okay, now I want to go in here and make some of these vertical ones. Okay, just kind of here and there, not everywhere. Okay, some brick indication stuff there, just kind of getting that laid out. All right, so getting more of this color now. And again, using my number 18 angle brush, it's really good for getting into places, like I said. So let's see, I'm going to run this right here. You're just kind of doing that. Let's see. Run this down. Now, of course, I want it bokeh out here and in the foreground here. So where I want to actually have it in focus is about right in here. So I want crisp lines between, say, in this area right here, just this area, and that's going to really pop the details of the bricks or the cobblestones, whichever, off of all the bokeh stuff in the background and the foreground here. It just kind of surrounds it with that look to give it that extra, what do you call it, contrast in the painting. Okay, giving it more interest to the eye in that way. Okay, so right here, you can see with the very edge of the brush here, I want to get in between these bricks. And I can make them any shape, but I want crisp lines in here. As you know, that crisp line says it's in focus versus all the fuzzy stuff and broken lines that says it's out of focus. Okay, so just going to go in here and very precisely kind of do this number here. Okay, now after cleaning, I'm going to take a little bit of this orange, a little yellow, okay, to make that more vibrant, and some of this burnt umber just to dull that a bit. Maybe a little bit more, actually. Let's see what I got here. Okay, maybe a little bit of white into that. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe something like that. Okay, this kind of orangey brown, I'm just going to kind of block this in. Okay, kind of going around some of this lavender stuff that I left in here just to kind of show that in here a bit. Okay, and I'm going to fade it off into this lavender here. Okay, just kind of brush it out. I don't know. Oops. Okay. Here, I'll get to that. Okay, I just want to pretty much block this in. Okay, just kind of a base coat for now for this really brilliant light here to just bounce right off of this. Okay, you can still see those little, whatchamacallit, little brick, little detail indications here that's going to be involved. Okay, it'll just kind of peek through some of this bright area right here. Here where it's the strongest on it. Okay, I'm just going to kind of do this. I'm going to brush it out into here and into here. Okay, kind of like that, just to kind of get a launch pad for that glow to kind of start off there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, I'm going to clean this brush. Okay, I'm going to go back to my number 2 nylon flat brush here. And I'm going to go back to this value here that I made. And what I like to do is kind of clean this up just a little bit. Let's see, it's going to be a little bit of some of this in focus, so I'm just going to do kind of like this, see this? Something's out of whack. I can also bring the bricks up and thin these black lines here a little bit in between them. See this? Okay, so anything you want to do, it's all good. And I want to start working values on top of this. Okay, I'm going to start building this up. And so what I'd like to do is go back into this orangey brown here. That's just a little bit of this cat orange and some of this burnt umber together. Maybe a little bit of yellow in there just to warm it up just a bit. Okay, and actually, you know what? I want to get a little bit of raw umber into that, just to darken it down just a bit, actually. Okay, I'm thinking something kind of like this. Okay, just a little bit of paint on the brush. And let's see, I want to start going on here and just kind of running this around. Okay, just kind of something like this. Just on top of some of this lavender color that I did. Okay, just kind of something like that. I'm going to put some of this in here again to show some of the brick stuff that's going on. Okay, I don't know, just some darker value in there. Okay, so again, just laying in some base color, just kind of playing this in. This is going to be all bokeh out, as you know. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush, and what I want to do now is I want to get a little bit of this light magenta and some of that orange together, and a little bit of yellow with that. Okay, and let's see, I'm going to get some of this dull. Okay, let's get a little titanium white into that. I had to put some of that on my palette. Okay, and maybe a little bit of violet in there. I want to cool that down just a little bit. Okay, but I do want to warm it though with that light magenta. Okay, so I'm looking for kind of this kind of dull sort of pink haze kind of color here. Okay, yeah, something like this. That's perfect. Okay, just a dulled down kind of pink sort of hue, and just a little bit of paint on the brush, and I just want to go in here with some of this. Okay, and actually, you know what I want to do is grab a little bit more of this magenta and orange, and let's go, yeah, something like that. Okay, I want it a little bit more saturated than this so that the color gets in there. There we go. I want some color like that. Okay, very light pressure with the brush, and I'm just gonna sort of glaze some of these brick indications here. Okay, just kind of here and there, not everywhere. Okay, and see, it's gonna start to create this out of focus bokeh effect as I start to build up these little values here that I'm just kind of striking in like this. See that? Not everywhere. Here and there, not everywhere. Okay, just kind of bringing some of that over here into this area just a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean that brush. Okay, I'm going to try my number 7 natural flat bristle brush. These natural bristles, again, are great for gradients and bokeh and hazes and all that good stuff that I'm going to need here. So I'm going to go kind of back into this kind of warm value there, and I'm going to get some titanium white just a little bit. Okay. So as you can see, it's that light pink. And very little pressure, or I'm sorry, very little paint on the brush. And a very dry brush. That's the key. And I just want to go in here and just kind of very lightly with the brush, just kind of do something like this. Okay, see this? Gives these nice little hazes here. Okay, this is totally what I want here. Okay, I'm going to streak them into some of this right here where this is going to be happening there. Okay. Okay, very little pressure, or very little paint, and I can press a little bit harder as paint runs off the brush. Just kind of dry brush that in, but see how that just kind of glazes that in? Just super well that way. I got to go over here too with that. Okay. Okay, something like that. Now it's going to get this really nice blurry effect here. All right, a little bit more of that value. Okay, let's see. Okay, now I'm going to a different number 2 nylon round brush. I'm going to use this to make some bokeh light stuff here. So what I'd like to do actually right now is take a little of this orange value, okay, just a little bit, and some yellow. I'm going to go into some of that, let's see, some of this raw umber to kind of dull that just a little bit. Okay, and now just a little bit of titanium white. Maybe, I don't know, let's see. Kind of looking for this Something like that. I'm going to put that right there. And actually, I'm going to go a little bit of orange and raw umber together. Okay, and I want to get some white. Okay, to bring that up a bit. Let's see. Okay, a couple different orange values there, as you can see. Okay, and I'm going to take just some of this. Let's see, maybe a little bit more white to that. There we go. Just going to take some of this and very, very, very little paint on the brush. And I'm going to go in here and see if I can turn the bristle. I can maybe kind of put this bokeh light in here like that. See that? I'm just going to start building this up. You can turn the bristles, or you can kind of do this if you want, or use a round brush, any brush you want to use. But I'm going to start playing these little things in here. Okay, just these random little light kisses here. And of course I'll cover it up if it's not right or whatever. But I'm going to play different bokeh lights and different things, so I'll just kind of mix it up, just kind of play it around. Okay, just kind of something like so. So now I want to go a little bit more orange and yellow into some of that. Okay, something like that. See that more vibrant orange? Let's go in here now. And let's see, just a little bit of paint. And I really want to mix in this value now. See that? Little values all playing together very subtly. Just really building this up. Okay, how about that? Gets that nice fall orange color in there. Super awesome. We're starting to see this autumn glowing cobblestone road here, or street, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, really lights up a place with this kind of a painting in any kind of room, really. Really nice piece. Gives it a nice, inviting, feeling into the season. Okay, a little bit more heavier with this orange. I want it more closer together and kind of like more of the orange bunched together back in here to kind of show that glow really happening and hitting a lot stronger back here. Okay, so heavier here, and then of course it gets more dispersed as it gets out here, but right here where it's really hitting strong, just more of that orange in there. Okay, loving that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush. Okay, I want to take some yellow now, and I want to go just a touch of burnt umber. Okay, just to dull it, and now just a little bit of orange, but not much. Okay, and now a good scoop of white. So let's see, I'm looking for a very light yellowish cream color here. Okay, yeah, something like that. That's perfect. Okay, so I want to take this value now, and I want to start going in here and kind of building up some sun kisses and glow here and all that. Okay, so just gonna do something like this, and I'm gonna start taking that right in here. I'm gonna kiss this just here and there, but not everywhere, okay? Just kind of start doing this in some places. It's kind of bouncing off some of the leaves that fell. See, kind of like that, okay? Okay, starting to get that sparkle. Starting to get that autumn glowing road or street. Just like that, okay. What I want to do now is make up a really vibrant orange. I want to take some of this orange and some of this light magenta, maybe a little bit of yellow too, and let's get some white into that. Okay, so I'm looking for something really, let's see, really awesome and vibrant. Okay, kind of something like this, maybe a little bit more white just to bring it up, make it a little bit brighter. Okay. Okay, something like that. And let's see, let's go. Some of these really bright ones again. Okay, just like this. Here and there, not everywhere, letting all these other values in here play along and kind of do its thing. Okay, without cleaning, I'm going to take some more of this light magenta, and now I'm going to get some red. Okay, let's find a spot here for that. Alright, and maybe just a little bit of that color there, this little cream color. There we go. Okay, something kind of like that, and I want to play this in just a little bit here and there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush again. What I'd like to do now is I'd like to take a little bit more yellow and go into some of this cream color here. Okay, so it's a little dulled down, but a little bit more vibrant and saturated. So I want to go again. Need to kind of come in here and kind of do this number again. That kind of sun glow. Okay, gonna get a little bit more of this orange. Okay, just a little bit. No cleaning necessary. And I just want to go kind of around this. See that? All right, love it. Okay, kind of petting this color in up here a little bit more. See that? It just kind of brings in that shine, that brilliant awesomeness. Okay. All right, something like that. And let's see, I want to go just titanium white again. Just pure titanium white. I'm going to go in here with that. Okay, something like that. See that? And with titanium white, okay, just titanium white alone, I'm going to work this in right here, but of course not drag it all the way out because I don't want to have it, you know, get lost or take over all that glow and shine with all the colors that surround it. Okay, kind of like that. All right, lovely. And I'm gonna put some of this in here. And also, let's see, let's just get titanium white. I'm gonna go a real bright one right here. Okay, just a lone zinger, I call them. Okay, just kind of something like that. Okay, there it is. Something happening here. Now, again, I want to go more of that orange. A little bit of this orange, just so it's not so orange, but more realistic orange. And more time, I want to go kind of in here with this and surround just kind of this outer stuff here. Okay, something like that. I'm going to go back in, and I think what I want to do is add some more dark stuff in there to pop this light effect. So I'm going to go, let's see, a little bit of this violet and raw umber. Okay, just kind of something dark and kind of lavenderish. Just want to go in here and just kind of do something like that. See that? Just kind of add some of that brick detail back in there, but without it being detailed, because this is still bokeh. Okay, so just very, very subtly, I just want to put this in here just a bit. See, it just kind of adds something in here. And maybe I'll even put some of that right in here. I don't know. Okay, some of that brick stuff showing in here. Maybe a little bit, yeah. Now, without cleaning, I'm going to take some raw umber and phthalo blue, but I don't want to have that dark color. I just want to use the raw umber to dull the blue down just a little bit. Okay, so I'm looking for kind of like this. And what I want to do is kind of go in here. Okay, just kind of like this on top of this violet. See that? So that violet kind of pops through and kind of reacts with it. Okay, a little bit more blue into this. I wanted it a little bit more vibrant. So I'm just going to sort of kind of play this in a little bit. See, like this. Okay, just kind of making that come into this just a little bit. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play some of this orange. Let's get some of this that I made. Okay, let's just dull down a little bit with some of that burnt umber into it. Okay, and I want to play some of these values in here. Just kind of, I don't know, something like this. Going to lay this value in. Just kind of dancing it in like this. See that? Okay, some more leaves that fell over here. Just making some indications. Okay, bokeh stuff. You know. All that good stuff. All right, I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush now. I'm going to take some of that raw umber and phthalo blue, okay, for that dark value again. Okay, and I'm just going to, okay, wiping a little bit of paint off the brush, just kind of come in here, and there's also going to be this little separation right here. Okay, this little separating line. Okay, just kind of breaking that up. A little bit of shadow stuff here and there, see that? So let's get a little bit more of that raw umber, phthalo blue. And maybe just a little bit of white this time. Okay, just a little bit. I want it dark, but not as dark. And let's see, I want to go kind of breaking this up a little bit. See this? Okay, some of that vibrant blue, but just kind of working these tones in here. Okay, kind of something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. All right, now I'm gonna take some of this orange and some of this light magenta here again for that really vibrant, awesome orange. See that really neon-like stuff when you put that light magenta in there. And so what I'm gonna do now is go in here with that. Look at that. Just how cool that looks. Okay, such a brilliance to it. I actually want to add some more of that into here to give it that brilliance here too. See that? All right. Now let's see, no clean. I'm gonna take some more of this orange. I'm gonna take some white. Okay, kind of something like that. And I want to go back in here and just kind of play this in. Okay, just kind of like this, kind of breaking it up. Okay, now I just want to go into some yellow. Okay, a little bit of that right here actually too. Okay, something like that. And something real vibrant. I want to go, okay, getting that yellow in there, that gold. And I'm going to add some of that in here as well. More time, I'm going to go into just pure titanium white, maybe just a hint of some of that yellow, but mostly white. And wiping a lot of that paint off the brush. I don't want to go too heavy. I just want to really brighten up this zing and shine right here. Okay, see, like this. Okay, where it's really hitting super duper strong. And it's gonna bounce, so I'm not gonna do the whole thing. Okay, see, kind of like that. And also with that, I'm going to add some of these shines in here. Okay. Okay, see, like that. Okay, I have my number 6 filbert brush. It's new and it has a nice edge on it, and I'm gonna get in here now and do some detailed things. And so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take some of this violet. I'm gonna dull that down with some raw umber. And I'm gonna take some titanium white to that. Okay, I'm looking for a dull lavender color. Okay, perfect. I'm thinking something like this. Okay. Okay, maybe something like that. Okay. And I want to start going on here and just kind of doing these things here. See that? Kind of running these little lines actually, although you can't actually see that too well, so I'm going to get some more white actually. Okay, more white. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to get some of these with stronger highlights than others, okay? And I'm just going to play these in. I'm just going to, you know, just kind of do these things where I'm going to tap some texture and just kind of do these, you know, knock these little things back. Okay, and just play these back and forth and all this texture stuff. This is really what's going to start building it up. And let's see, I want more highlight right here where the sun's coming in and not so much over here. So I'm going to go another blobber right here, if that's what you want to call it. And look, I'm just letting the paint run off the brush and just fading this off. See, like that? This is going to be all that out of focus stuff here. Okay. So, all right. Okay, as you can see, more lines that are distinct as opposed to this faded, blurry stuff. Okay, focus, out of focus, and having that contrast happen. Okay, I'm going to take some light magenta. I'm going to take some violet to that to dull that down, and now some raw umber to that as well. And now let's get some white to desaturate that. So I'm looking for a dull kind of a color here. Okay, maybe something like this. All right, and well, actually, let me get a little bit more of that color in there. Okay, let's try that. You can always adjust it if it's not what I want. And let's see, I'm gonna put, yeah, there we go, some of that in here. Okay, see, just like that. Yeah, to get that color going in there. I think what I want to do is I want to take some raw umber and some of that violet there. Okay, kind of something like this. And let's see, I want to go kind of like this, where I'm just kind of petting this in a little bit with my filbert brush. Okay, you can use a nylon flat brush or even a natural bristle brush if you want. Okay, something like that. I'm going to pick up some more raw umber into that, actually. There we go. Okay, just trying to get these dark values in here. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little bit of that blue and brown just to darken it a little bit more. Okay, and let's see, I want to go right over here, just kind of pet this out to show that it's kind of got shadow going. See that? Okay. Natural. It's kind of in the shadow area over here. The light's not hitting it as much, really. Okay, see that? There's a brick right there that's kind of hiding out in the shadow. Let's hide this one out in the shadow. Okay, let's get this shadow kind of stuff happening here. Okay, just a little bit of paint on the brush because I want to not do hard lines again. This is going to be out of focus right here, so I want to do this blending. Okay, blending just like this. Okay, just letting that paint kind of fade out, not letting it have a hard line. Okay, just kind of something like that. Let's see, without clean, I'm going to go a little bit of raw umber and some cad orange and a little titanium white. Okay. We get a little bit of yellow just to warm that up to make it more of a peachy color. There we go. Maybe a little bit more orange. Yeah. A little more white, a little more yellow. Okay. There we go. Something like that. This nice warm autumn peachy color here, and I'm going to just kind of do this right here on it. Okay, this kind of circular motion where it's getting hit by the sunlight out here. Okay, something like that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. Okay, now I want to play some phthalo blue. It's got a little bit of that raw umber in there. Okay, I'm gonna get some titanium white. Let's get a little bit more blue. Actually, let's get more blue. Okay. And let's get more white and more blue. Okay, maybe something kind of like this. And I'm gonna just kind of play this in some areas, okay? Like it's gonna be some right here, a little blue reflective light. And I'm gonna pet the outside right here for that bokeh effect, see that? Just really kind of blend it out. Okay, see, like that. Let's see, I'm going to go right here a little bit with that. Okay, just some areas hitting where it's going to be some blue stuff happening because it's in the shadow. These tell us what's going on and how the sun's reacting and all the light that's bouncing and all the shadow play and, you know, the way I'm using the brush, whether it's in focus, out of focus. All right, so something like that, and I'm gonna play this over here. It's gonna be some of this blue, definitely in this area here. What I want to do now is start building up the shine as I get into the more of the foreground bricks here. I'm gonna go to that lighter stuff here. That's that light, that's that violet and raw umber to dull it, and titanium white, okay? And right here, I'm going to start making these really bright in here. Okay, just kind of like this. Just to start off with. Nothing too impressive just yet. Just going to get the color going for now, just for a minute, okay? And now what I want to do is I want to take a little bit of this magenta and let's see, some white. You can see that magenta has a little bit of blue in there still because I did not clean. I want it in there to kind of dull this down and give it somewhat of an undertone lavender kind of hue, but I want more of this light magenta in here. Okay, more titanium white. Let's see, more titanium white. There we go. Looking for, thinking something like this. Okay. And I really want to brighten up these bricks here, okay, with these nice little shines. Okay, out of focus right here, so I want to do like this circular kind of deal here where the light's going to be zinging right there, okay, just like that. Okay, let's see. Let's get, and right here, super bright. Okay, something like that. And now what I want to do without cleaning, I just want to take just a little bit more white. And I'm going to start really getting bright on these ones. See this right here? Okay. All right. Okay, now I want to get a little bit of this magenta, a little bit of burnt umber just to dull that a bit. Let's get some white. Okay, so let's go like this. Okay, something like that. And what I want to do is kind of work this around and out here. Kind of around this like this. See, this is going to build glow and shine and pop. See this? Look at how that just adds in. Okay, when I go around this light stuff like this, and also right here, look at that. Okay, just kind of like that, and then kind of want to get some of this raw umber and blue together. Okay, just a little bit of a dark color here. Okay, and wiping a lot of that paint off the brush, and I want to go around some of this and kind of just show some shadow play kind of happening like this. See that? And I can also come in here and clean up some of this. See that? Like that. Okay, just kind of cleaning these bricks up a bit, yeah. Okay, adding some texture back in. Okay, I want to get some more of that dark value in here because I want to come in here and see how I can just clean that up real quick. Ain't that nice? Okay, see that? Easy, easy. Another forgiving painting. As always, acrylics is super forgiving. You can always knock something back if it gets out of hand or out of whack or whatever. See that? All right. All gravy, baby. All right. There it is. Okay. Just kind of playing some of this on here for shadow. See that? Okay. Something like that. And I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush now. Okay, one thing I'd like to do now is take some raw umber and phthalo blue for that dark color again. Okay, a very nice tip and an edge on here, because what I want to do is I want to go in here like this and just kind of tap this around. See this? Because that says that that brick is in focus now. Okay, and I just kind of want to settle it down. Maybe use my finger, just kind of. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to build this texture on here, just kind of like this. Okay, something like that. And now I'm gonna brush because I want, again, this part to be out of focus. Okay, so see, just kind of like this. Just kind of like that. See that? And that just kind of brings it in. Okay. yeah. There it is. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush now. Really want to take, that's that light magenta and a little bit of burnt umber to that, okay? And now a good scoop of white, because now what I want to do is I want to go in here and okay. The light's just going to be coming down, bouncing down like this, okay? Alright, now what I want to do is take some of those similar colors that are up here and bring them into here. And so now I want to go some of this magenta and orange together to get that real nice firecracker of a color there, that real vibrant stuff, okay? Something like that. And I really want to hit just some of this stuff here, see, like this, okay? And okay, something like this. Okay, so that light's coming down, still coming down a bit, yeah. Without cleaning, I'm going to take some of this yellow and I want to take some white. Okay. And it's something like this. Okay, a nice peachy color like this. Yeah, all right. There it is. And I want to go kind of like this, and I want to leave some of that orange, but I want to bring in this nice vibrant glow like this. See that? Really getting lit up right here. I want to get a little bit of orange into this. Okay, just a little bit, and like right here, just kind of want to surround. Let's see, maybe a little bit more orange. In some places here, it's going to really be doing some things here, okay? Showing some vibrance. Okay, kind of like that, just kind of this zinger. Just zinging, zinging, zing. Zinging away. All right. So there's this, there's this. Okay, just gonna get that nice, brilliant shine super well in here. Okay, a little bit of that right in here. Okay, maybe some of it over there. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm thinking something like that. I'm gonna go ahead and clean this brush, get just titanium white, maybe just a teeny bit of this peach color, but mostly white. Okay, mostly white. And now what I want to do is really brighten this up. I just want to go okay, again, those lines to show that it's actually doing something here. Okay, a little bit of a glow here. I don't want to take over all this orange, of course. Okay, just right there in the middle, just kind of blending that off. See that? Just lights that up. Okay, little sneakers out here. Okay, a little bit right in here. Okay, back to my number 2 nylon flat brush. I'm going to use this to do some bokeh stuff here to make these bricks look more out of focus right and around this area where I want them to. So I'm going to take that dark color again, that raw umber and phthalo blue. Okay, and right here, what I want to do is just kind of do this number right here. See this? Just kind of gives it that blended, kind of blurry look when I do that fuzzy line stuff. See that? Like that. It just, no hard lines. Okay, same thing right here. It up, okay? Just kind of makes it so that it's not in focus. Go back into that orange and that light magenta, a little bit of yellow, and let's get some white now to that. Okay, and I want to pop some little things here. Okay, now I want to take that same value and I want to start bringing these bokeh lights down. Okay, kind of like this, see that? This is going to be, again, more leaves that got lit up and kind of left out, or, you know, fell on the ground, I mean. Okay, something like that. And let's see, I'm going to get some real solid ones and bigger ones because they're closer to us. Okay, see, like that right there. I'm going to go over here and I'm just going to lay these out. I can go ahead and adjust these values once I get these laid in where I want them to be, but like right here, I want another one. Let's see. Some solid ones that are really opaque that are right here. Okay, how about that? And let's see. I want to take a little bit of this raw umber and violet together. Okay, just a dark value. And I kind of want to go around these just to kind of pop these out of here some more. See these little bokeh little deals here? I want these to show up better. So I'm going to go like this and just make this part of the brick a little bit darker over there. Okay, but I'm going to blend it off. Just take just some yellow. Maybe there's a little bit of that cream yellow in there, but I want to go some titanium white now. Okay, I want to start throwing this around just a little bit. Let's see, I'm going to go kind of right there. Just kind of throwing this value in now. See that? Just like that. And then there's going to be a really big bokeh light right here. Okay, light really striking off of this right here. Okay, just like that. Let's see, there's going to be another one. That's like a solid one that I want right here, very opaque. I'll go ahead and Fill that in some more, actually. Okay. Okay, something like that. And let's see. One right there. Okay. Alright, so these awesome things. Okay, gonna grow. There's a little bit of orange in this yellow, and that's fine because I want a little bit of that in there. Okay, you can see it makes the yellow ramped up, gives it glow and shine. Let's go in here. Yeah, look at that on top of this first coat, and I can get this really popping out of here. Okay, just like that. And let's see, I want to go back into some magenta and some raw umber, a little bit of yellow, and some white again. Okay. Just kind of want to do this little glowy shine kind of zinger right here. Okay, just like that. Right, I don't know. Kind of does something there. Also right there. Okay. Just these little things. Okay, just kind of playing these around. Blending them with other colors. See, like that, it gives it more zing and pop. Okay. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. I love it. Okay. Now, I'm going to go a little bit of this, and let's see. Let's get some white to just desaturate that orange just a little bit, okay? And what I want to do is go back in here. Okay, there's one, and okay, but see, just kind of something like that. You can see a difference in change between this first one and then when the paint ran off the brush, how the paint wasn't as strong, so the other colors show through a little bit stronger than this one. So in that way I can also change my values in that kind of way as well. Okay, many ways to do it. I'm going to go now back to this yellow, little burnt umber. Let's see, a little bit more white. Okay. Just this kind of orangey color here, and let's see, I'm going to go some more of these here. Okay, like this. One thing I'd like to do is I'm going to take some yellow, or sorry, some orange and some red. Okay, something like that, and I want to go around this right here. See this? This is going to give it a glow and a pop here, this Bokeh light, this particular one. This is kind of what's neat in the Bokeh world. You pick a couple out, or like one, and you really make it zing and shine, and it just really kind of gives this realistic look to it. Like one of them just kind of shot out of there. And light was just really hitting this super well in this kind of way. Okay, see, just like that. Okay, just kind of does something cool there. I'm going to do it around this one too, just a little bit. Okay, and like that. Okay, maybe I'll add some of that red in here even. Okay, see that? Okay, changing them up a little bit. Change them. All good. Okay, maybe a little bit more right here to make that one pop out some more. All right. Okay, after cleaning, I'm going to take just pure titanium white, just a little bit of paint. And one more time, I'm going to go in here, and I want these Bokeh round shapes here to show that this is out of focus back in here. Okay, see that? And then I'll start really popping just some of this. Okay, kind of hitting this. Okay, and also with just pure titanium white, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put some solid, just pure titanium white ones right here. There's one right there. Okay, a little bit further away, a little bit smaller. And there's another one, a little bit bigger right here, because it's closer to us. Okay, something like that. Okay, one over there maybe. All right. Okay, maybe a little white in here, just to kind of brighten those up. See that? Let's make a couple just for fun. Go off the canvas. Okay, maybe there's... Okay, so I went ahead and signed, as you can see, and I hope this was clear for you guys and that you were able to follow along. I know it was a little bit more in depth and it took some more layering and building up, but it gets better each time. So definitely give this one a shot and let me hear your questions and comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys and let me know how this went for you and all of that. I'll do my best to answer anything I can. And if you're new, please do me a favor and subscribe. That helps me to keep making these videos, and I appreciate you all so very much. And with that said, I want to wish you guys well, a happy fall and a happy painting to you.